President Biden's in Belfast today, marking the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement that mostly halted 30 years of conflict in Northern Ireland. The president reinforced the United States' commitment to Ireland in a speech earlier in the last hour.
The United States of America will continue to be your partner in building the future the young people of our world deserve. It matters to us, to Americans, and to me personally. It genuinely matters if you've traveled my country. So let's celebrate 25 extraordinary years by recommitting to renewal, repair, by making this exceptional peace the birthright of every child in Northern Ireland for all the days to come.
CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe has been traveling with the president. He's in Belfast. Now, Ed, what else did the president have to say there?
Omar, this speech was designed to reiterate U.S. support and encouragement for the people of Northern Ireland. At one point, he said, the American people are with you every step of the way. There's been concern here as Northern Ireland marks 25 years since signing of that landmark Good Friday Agreement that some of the gains and the peace put in place by that agreement are slipping away. For more than a year, there hasn't been a fully functioning government in this country due to a series of disagreements related to Brexit, related to the sectarian conflicts between Catholics and Protestants that dominated this island and this continent for nearly 30 years in the latter half of the 20th century. And so the president today coming to meet with the leaders of those parties, to meet with the British Prime Minister to say, look, the United States was a big part of putting this peace agreement together, is concerned about the future of peace on this island and wants to see it happen. And if it continues to, U.S. investment will flow in. That is a big concern for leaders here in this country or province or region, depending on how you describe it, and for the United Kingdom, which is eager to see economic investment continue.
And speaking of international news, Ed, you interviewed National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby earlier. What did he have to say about the classified Pentagon document?
Well, let's take a listen. But he did indeed have an answer. Take a look at this.
We're reaching out actively to allies and partners, relevant allies and partners that are involved in some of these documents to make sure that they understand how seriously we take this and how deeply we're going to investigate this, and if there needs to be accountability to look for accountability as well.
He wouldn't get into specifics about that outreach, whether, for example, there had been sensitive talks with South Korea, there have been some reports of concerns there, or with Egypt about some moves it wanted to make in selling military equipment to Russia, or with Ukraine, saying it's up to those countries to describe the interactions. But he did make clear that U.S. officials are actively reaching out and making sure everybody knows that things remain copacetic. Clearly, an investigation continues by the Justice Department. Officials at the Pentagon still trying to sort out what's going on. We're waiting to hear whether there was any discussion today of this leak with the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. So far, no word of that, but wouldn't have been a surprise if it did come up.
You did mention earlier President Biden met with British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Do you know what the two discussed?
Well, we know primarily they were concerned about sustaining the Good Friday Agreement, marking the anniversary. The British, in our conversations with them ahead of this, have been very clear that they're eager to see continued economic investment in a part of their kingdom, in a part of Europe that needs it and that has struggled to see it. What was notable in the event that the president held here with local leaders a little while ago is that he was introduced by local business leaders, people who have benefited from U.S. investment, from sustained international economic investment in Northern Ireland, signaling to the people here and to their leaders, if you sustain the peace, the investments will continue. So that's a big concern, obviously, because the hope is that people who live here, as it is in any community, that people who live here can stay here because they'll find economic opportunity. The president said the United States is committing to help with that so long as the peace can be sustained.
And Ed, lastly, what else is on the agenda for the president?
Well, we head south into Ireland ever so shortly from now. He is going to fly to Dublin, meet with officials there very quickly at the airport, and then take a helicopter back up to County Louth, which is that county just south of Northern Ireland, from where his mother's side of the family, the Finnegans, hail. He will visit Dundalk, among other towns there. Later in the week, he heads to Ballina in what's called County Mayo, out in the west. That's where his father's side derives from. There are distant cousins who still live here across the island. The Irish ambassador who we talked to last week had said that they are kind of local celebrities in their towns because they can claim lineage with the American president. Don't be surprised if we see some of them happen upon the president later today and throughout the week. While there is official business to be done, as there was here today and there will be tomorrow in Dublin, the president eager to sprinkle in some family time and to celebrate what 1 in 10 Americans can all claim, and that is a bit of Irish heritage. He has brought along his sister Valerie and his son Hunter, who will be part of this personal exploration. Among other things, they're going to get a full genealogical report when they're out in the West on Friday to better detail his Irish roots.
Well, Ed, hopefully you can have a little bit of time for a proper pint. Thank you very much.
There may have already been some, and there will be more.
Thanks, Ed.